everybody. Good morning. Welcome to Jubilee Circle. Thank you so much for being here in the building this morning on this beautiful, beautiful Sunday. Thank you so much for being with us live on Facebook. We appreciate all the eyeballs, all the people here with us this morning. 2, 3, 4. Grab a bulletin, and if you're watching us there on the YouTube, you can find a bulletin at jubileecircle.com. Here's a little song I wrote. You might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry. Be happy. In every life we have some trouble, but when you worry you make it double. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Ain't got no place to lay your head. Somebody came and took your bed. Don't worry. Be happy. Landlord say your rent is late. He may have to litigate. Don't worry. Be happy. Look at me, I'm happy. Do 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 do. Don't worry. Do 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 do. Be happy. Do 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 do. Don't worry. Be happy now. Do 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 do. Don't worry. Do 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 do. Be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Ain't got no cash, ain't got no style. Ain't got no gal to make you smile. Don't worry. Be happy. 'Cause when you worry, your face will frown, and that will bring everybody down. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Do 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 do. Don't worry. Do 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 do. Be happy. Do 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 do. Don't worry, be happy now. Do 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 do. Don't worry. Do 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 do. Be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Oh yeah. All right. Don't worry, be happy. Absolutely. That's it. That is our Mayor Baba rendition. Welcome again, everybody, to Jubilee Circle. We are so happy that you are here and joining us, especially those of you who are joining us for the first time. Our guests, we're happy for you to be here. Dr. Michaels is here, and he's going to, Dr. Phil Michaels, he is going to talk with us afterwards about God consciousness, and so we're happy to, are we broadcasting that? I forget if I told you that. Okay. Yeah, okay. So about 2 o'clock, we'll be broadcasting again, and broadcasting Dr. Michaels' talk to us. So stick around here in the building. There is food, and stick around online. Be sure and join us at 2, and we'll also have that available for your recorded enjoyment later on. So again, welcome to Jubilee Circle, and we are continuing our VIA Transformativa theme of Barriers Be Gone. It is A Course in Miracles that says our task here while we are alive is not to search for love, but to tear down all of the barriers that we have built to block it. And so we're exploring some of those barriers this quarter and how we can remove it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Are you really happy?
Yes, mostly.
Really? Are you really, really happy? What's making you happy this morning? What? Being here? Okay. What else? What's making you happy? The weather. Oh my. What else are you happy about?
All my friends.
Music. Huh?
Yeah. All our friends here.
Being closer to God. Okay.
Yeah.
What else are we happy about? Bob's feet don't hurt. That's great. I'm happy your feet don't hurt. I'm really happy for you.
Yeah.
But Heath got out of bed this morning. Wow. The birds were singing. Loud. The birds were singing loud. What else? The sun is out. The birds are singing. If any of those things that are making you happy right now went away, it was raining, the birds weren't singing, you were too tired to get up this morning,
Yeah.
would you still be happy?
Yeah.
You'd be closer to God, that's for sure. Right. There you go. You could still do it. Because lasting happiness, jubilance, it doesn't matter what happens out here. It's an inside job. It has nothing to do with your circumstances. Holy happiness isn't affected by changing situations. Whether the weather changes, or the politics change, or the leaders change, or the price of milk or bread changes. That's not to say that we're not concerned with the world and its suffering. We certainly are. But as a good friend told me a while back, I can't suffer enough to end the suffering of the world. I can't be sad enough to end the sadness of the world. All I can do is fulfill my function, and that is to be the light of the world, no matter what is happening around me. It doesn't mean we don't act to alleviate the suffering in the world. It means that whatever action we do take, it must come from a truly happy heart. A heart that is centered on love, a heart that is not angry or despairing, a heart that is not centered on fear. Because when we act from our ego's fear or despair, all we create in this world is more fear and despair, no matter how much we want to bring happiness into the world. We can only do for the world what God can do through us. And we can only bring happiness into the world if we have already cultivated it within our own hearts, within our own soul, within our own mind. So I invite you this morning, jubilants. The song seems a little trite, but its wisdom is deep. Don't worry, be happy. Not as a way to ignore the troubles of the world, but as a way to be the joy, to be the laughter, to be the light that makes everyone remember that they too are joy and laughter and light. Jubilants, we have the remedy for the world, and it is to be and to bring forth happiness. So everyone gets to say, oh yeah, please rise as you're able. And we begin every Jubilee Circle celebration by remembering the four elements, the air and the water and the earth and the fire. And we burn black sage as a reminder that we are to set our intentions daily, set our intentions moment by moment for what we want our own hearts to be, that happiness and peace that we seek within. So then we can transform ourselves and transform the world and bring forth that peace and happiness that God wants to bring forth into the world. And we orient ourselves in this sacred time and space by calling the four directions. So I invite you to turn and face the east. Awaken us, Holy One. Open our eyes to your presence all around us. Your presence in the rising sun. Your presence in the beauty of all creation. Awaken us to your presence in, through, and around us at all times. Awaken us to that holy happiness that abounds all around us and within us in every moment of the day, inviting us to put our cares aside and enter fully into your presence. Quarter turn to the right, we face the south. Open us, Holy One, to the amazing love that this world offers. Open our hearts to those around us, to all the human, animal, and plant life that begs us daily to fall in love with the world. Open our ears to the love songs of nature. They sing to us every day in the buzz of the bees, the yap of the dog, the song of the birds, the rustling of the leaves. Teach us, Holy One, how to sing along. Quarter turn to the right, we face the west. Grant us vision, Holy One, so we may see those around us who are in need of your love and your happy holiness, your holy happiness. Reveal the hidden suffering of those we meet so we may sing your happy songs of love to them and ease their pain and bring your peace into their lives. Quarter turn to the right, we face the north. Guide us, Holy One. Show us how to fall in love every day with the image we see in the mirror. That's probably the most difficult image to love. But help us to see that holy reflection not as ugly or beautiful or fat or thin, but simply a reflection of you, the holy, the divine, the light within. Help us to find that holy happiness so it may shine forth into the world. And as you turn back toward the center, you'll find some shiny, happy people here. We are all here loving and laughing with each other this morning. And if you are not in your happy place this morning, I invite you to remember who you truly are, your function here. There will always be circumstances in the world that seem to make us unhappy. But happiness, jubilance, it is our birthright, and it is also our choice. In this moment, choose that holy happiness that is unshaken by the sadness of the world, because it knows it has the remedy of love and joy that this world needs to make us all say, oh yeah. Please remain standing and we will sing our opening song. We've got a little Jason Mraz for us this morning. And if you want a bulletin out there in YouTube land, you can go to JubileeCircle.com, or even here in the building, if you want an electronic version, you can download it at JubileeCircle.com and follow along. You will get all of the readings and all of the lyrics so you can be fully part of the celebration this morning. Right. Here we go. Well, I saw fireworks on the freeway, and behind closed doors I cannot make them go away, 'cause you were born on the 4th of July, freedom ring. Now something on the surface it stinks. Something on the surface, well, it makes me kind of nervous. Who says that you deserve this, and what kind of guy with service we will cure this dirty old disease? Well, if you got's the poison, I got's the remedy. The remedy is the experience. This is a dangerous liaison. I says the comedy is that it's serious. This is a strange enough new play on words. I say the tragedy is how you're gonna spend the rest of your nights with the light on. So shine the light on all of your friends. Well, it all amounts to nothing in the end. I won't worry my life away. Hey, oh, I won't worry my life away. Hey, oh. Well, I heard two men talking on the radio in a crossfire kind of new reality show, uncovering the ways to plan the next big attack. Well, they were counting on the days to stab a brother and to be right back. After this, the unavoidable kiss, with a minty flesh death breath to show to outlast this catastrophe. Dance with me, 'cause if you got's the poison, I got's the remedy. The remedy is the experience. This is a dangerous liaison. I says the comedy is that it's serious. This is a strange enough new play on words. I say the tragedy is how you're gonna spend the rest of your nights with the light on. So shine the light on all of your friends, 'cause it all amounts to nothing in the end. I won't worry my life away. Hey, oh, I won't worry my life 'cause the remedy is the experience. Says a dangerous liaison. I says the comedy is that it's serious. Is this a strange enough to play onward? I say the tragedy is how you're gonna spend the rest of your nights with the light on. So shine the light on all of your friends, 'cause it all amounts to nothing in the end. I won't worry my life away. Hey, oh, I won't worry my life away. Hey, oh, everybody, I won't worry my life away. Hey, oh, I won't worry my life away. Hey, oh yeah. I love that song. It makes you happy. It really makes me happy. All right, everybody, welcome again to Jubilee Circle. We are so glad that everyone is joining us today. And just a word about us, who we are. Jubilee Circle is an inclusive, progressive interfaith community here in Columbia, South Carolina. We teach the timeless common wisdom that is found in all of mainstream religions, metaphysical philosophies, mysticism, inspired secular and religious writers and teachers throughout the ages. We use popular music, teachings, weekly celebrations, educational and artistic events, and other community building activities as we seek to create a space for everybody to experience their own transformation so then they can go out and be that transformation in the world. And we believe that we are here to expand our souls, to find a deeper meaning to life, to renew our commitment to love and peace and justice, and learn how to love wastefully and undergo a transformation from the inside out to discover how we can live more fully into our higher divine self. And we also recognize we're part of God's good creation. We are formed not just in stardust, but in love and in joy. But we humans, we forget that. We arrive in this world and we look around and we see things that look separate from ourselves. You're over here and I'm over there and those people are over there, and we think that we're all separate, and so we start to judge and we start to look around and go, those people are beautiful, those people are ugly, those people are greedy, those people are generous, those people are good, those people are recalcitrant, obstreperous,
untoward, refractory,
fractals, right, stubborn, refractory. There's a new one? Jim? Contumacious? Wow. We are a veritable thesaurus here. You are more fun at parties because you go to Jubilee. That's just what I'm saying. Right, $10 words. Get them here. Get them while they last. But let us remember our function here, Jubilants. We are to remember that we're already home. We don't have to go anywhere. We just have to remember who we are, and that is we are the light of the world, and we are here to be an open channel of God's love in this world. So everybody gets to say, oh yeah. All right, so a few announcements. Next week, we're already into May, folks. Wow. So it'll be May 1st, and we're going to use music from India Ari to explore the barrier of kindness. May Day, it is. And coming up after, I've mentioned, but coming up afterwards, about 1:30, we're going to have a potluck. At about 2 o'clock, Dr. Phil Michaels will give his presentation called God's Gift of Consciousness. So we're going to learn and grow, and this is part of our expanding our spirit, expanding our soul. Huh? 1:30. Oh, I guess. I don't know. Did we say 1:30? Yeah, so okay, whatever, 12:30. Whenever we're done here, we'll eat, and then Dr. Michaels will talk. So time, it's relative. Right, it doesn't. Time is an illusion. Lunchtime doubly so. That's what Douglas Adams says in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So there you go. This coming no, not this coming Friday. Friday week will be our Jubilee Circle Coffee House and Open Mic on May 6th. Tyler Watson is our feature act, so we'll have food. Food is a theme. We're just going to have food everywhere we go. And so come, if you're a performer, come and be part of our open mic. That starts at 8. Tyler will start at 7. Opera is coming to Jubilee. I'm so excited that the Columbia Operatic Laboratory will bring its English adaptation of the Impresario to our stage. It's a comic one-act opera that's for everyone, and they have rewritten it so it's actually taking place in Columbia, South Carolina. So it will be, but come and hear some, these guys are amazing. We saw them at the art bar, and I'm like, please bring that to Jubilee. Y'all are great. So they're coming to us, and I'm so happy about that. So it's Thursday, May 12th at 7 o'clock. Tickets are $10 at the door. We will serve some light snacks. We will serve a little bit of food, and just a donation to Jubilee to cover that and the air conditioning and all that. So we work for donations, but we want that to be a big event. We want everyone to come and appreciate the Columbia Operatic Laboratory. And then Friday, May 13th, Improverts returns. Do you want to say anything about that, Beth? Right. Improv for introverts and extroverts. If you ever dreamed of being on Whose Line Is It Anyway, this is your time to come and practice. It's just for fun. We'll just set up some scenes, and everybody will improv. And I can never keep a straight face, but I can't do a straight anything. So it's just how it is. Right. Never. Nah, I can't even think straight. So.
Always go forward, never go straight.
Right, exactly. Gaily forward. Go gaily forward for about a mile. Say what? That's a whole different joke. I'm not going there. And Beth's play starts on Friday, is opening night, and she's not nervous at all. No. She is starring in a play called The Dearly Departed that, what's the name of the? Onstage Productions is doing, and tickets are like $18, I think, a piece. 19? Okay. 17? 17 if you're a senior. 17 for you, man. So come and join in the festivities. So we'll put a link up to that somewhere. Okay. Am I missing anything? Oh, yeah. Did you leave one up here? Okay. I have a few, because I really want to get a good crowd for these folks because they are so impressive. You will be blown away. I do not like opera. I'm just going to say up front, I don't like it at all. These guys make me like opera because they're so good and they're funny and they're really entertaining. And we've got a few flyers. I don't know if anyone has any connections with any retail people around that might put up a flyer to publicize this, please. I've got like a dozen of these. So if you have any places that might put this up, schools, anywhere. I mean, any place that might have a bulletin board where you can, coffee shops, wherever you can put it up, please see me for some flyers. Because I really want to get a good crowd for these folks and show them our support for their work. Anything else am I missing? Okay. Beautiful. Hear these wise and holy words. I gotcha. Now you're on camera.
From the Jesus story, Matthew 21, 12 through 13.
Really, you gotta really talk into it, sorry. We want them to hear you.
Then Jesus entered the temple and drove out all who were selling and buying in the temple, and he overturned the tables of the money changers and the seats of those who sold doves. He said to them, "It is written, 'My house shall be called a house of prayer,' but you are making it a den of robbers." From A Course in Miracles, chapter 29. Seek not outside yourself, for it will fail, and you will weep each time an idol falls. Heaven cannot be found where it is not, and there can be no peace excepting there. Each idol that you worship when God calls will never answer his place. There is no other answer you can substitute and find the happiness his answer brings. Seek not outside yourself, for all your pain comes simply from a futile search for what you want, insisting where it must be found. What if it is not there? Do you prefer that you be right or happy? Be you glad that you are told where happiness abides, and seek no longer elsewhere. And from A Course in Miracles teacher and author Greg Mackey. The main benefit I see in correctly interpreting, do you prefer that you be right or happy, is that it allows the line to be what I believe Jesus really intended it to be, a challenge to our egoic insistence on being right at the expense of real rightness and of our happiness. Stubbornly clinging to a wrong position, no matter how much pain it causes us, is a virtually universal human phenomenon. This line is both a challenge to us to seriously question our way of seeing things and an invitation to accept a new way of seeing things that is both right and happy. Thus, the correct understanding of this line, which says that being right through listening to the right voice is the way to be happy, frees us to seek for truth and stand up for what we believe is right without reservation. Certainly, we may be wrong, and so, even as we take a stand, we should always be aware of our fallibility and open to a new way of seeing things. We should also be careful that we don't stand up for a truly right idea in a wrong, egoic way. But while we should be vigilant against the ego, we should also recognize that it is our function to stand up for what is right. We are to demonstrate right-mindedness through our thoughts, words, and deeds, just as Jesus did in his earthly life and in writing the Course. Our happiness depends on our fulfilling this function. It is our calling, and a correct interpretation of this line frees us to fulfill the function the Holy Spirit has for us.
These are wise and holy words. Thanks be to the holy. All creation is holy word. All creation speaks volumes of the holy. Hallelujah. Yes, sir. All right. Breathe deeply. Right. Well, which came first, the chicken or the egg? I read a story this week. You know, everybody fled when the Russians invaded Ukraine. Everybody fled areas such as Mariupol, Kyiv, Odessa. Odessa's down on the coast south of Mariupol. And I read a story yesterday about people who are going back. All of the people who fled Kyiv, who fled around these areas, and one going to Odessa, even though, I mean, war's not over, you know, even though the Russians say they're focusing on that coastline around Mariupol, there's still war. There's still the threat of bombs dropping, and people are going back into to Kyiv. They're getting on trains and they're going back to Kyiv, and they don't know what they're going back to. They don't know if their house is there. They don't know if their parents are still there. A lot of their elderly parents they've talked about how many of their elderly parents just didn't want to go. They weren't going to go. They weren't going to leave. They don't know what they're going back to. But the draw, every single one of them, down to a person, said, I want to go home. That's my home. And home is a really deep idea for we human beings. People ask you where you're from. They want to know where your home is. And we associate home with happiness. All of these people, they've been in places that have been technically safe. There's not bombs dropping on them. One of them even said, you know, I get to go out to a restaurant and have a nice evening, and I'm thinking about all of my friends that are still in Kyiv, that are in those regions that are still being bombed, and I can't enjoy myself. I can't be happy because what's happening at home. Home is important to us. But you know what? None of us has ever left our home. And there's a war that's going on within each of us right now that we think prevents us from going home or being safe at home. But the difference is inside your heart, inside your mind and your soul, you can end that war. You can go home. You can be home in every moment. If only you would stop dropping bombs on yourself. Bombs of shame. Bombs of insecurity. Bombs of what will they think. Bombs of I'm not good enough. That's a war you can end. And as Phil said, if you create peace inside, peace will be created outside. If you create justice inside, justice will be created outside, because the world is a reflection of our inner world. That's why there's war, because there's a war raging inside every single one of us, me included. I haven't stopped dropping bombs on myself. You're already home, jubilants. You're already there. You just need to wake up and be there. There is a dictator inside your own head that you can dethrone, and we call it the ego, and you can put it in its rightful place and not allow it to take you outside of your home ever again. We're all refugees because of the ego. And that's not to discount the actual physical reality of those people in Ukraine. The war is devastating, and the war needs to end. And it needs to end now. And instead of sitting here and feeling helpless or angry about it, end the war within yourself. Because that's the fastest way to end the war out here. So what bombs are you dropping this morning, jubilants? I invite you. You don't need a defense system. You don't need anti-ballistic missiles. You just need to put the dictator out of power. Stop handing your power over to the ego. Let the holy run your life. That still small voice that always speaks peace instead of the ego that's always going to war. I invite you in this moment of meditation, listen for the still small voice. Peace is in you, and peace wants to come out of you. As the Buddha invited his own demons to tea, oh Mara, there's my old friend. Invite your ego to tea. Make peace so you can be peace. This is a poem by John O'Donohue called For Peace. As the fever of the day calms toward twilight, may all that is strained in us come to ease. We pray for all those who suffered violence today. May an unexpected serenity surprise them. For those who risk their lives each day for peace, may their hearts glimpse providence at the heart of history. That those who make riches from violence and war might hear in their dreams the cry of the lost. That we might see through our fear of each other a new vision to heal our fatal attraction to aggression. That those who enjoy the privilege of peace might not forget their tormented brothers and sisters. That the wolf may lie down with the lamb, that our swords be beaten into plowshares, and no hurt or harm be done anywhere along the holy mountain. Oh yeah. Breathe deeply. Our song this morning comes from that Athens, Georgia-based band R.E.M. The song is called Shiny Happy People, and I forgot to write down when it came out. Sometime in the 80s, right? 80s. Do you remember? 91. 80? 91? Wow. All right. Well, here we go. Very late 80s. Almost like it was the 90s. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those of you old enough to remember can sing along. Here we go. Shiny, happy people laughing. Meet me in the crowd. People, people, throw your love around. Love me, take it into town. Happy, happy, put it in the ground where the flowers grow. Gold and silver shine. Shiny, happy people holding hands. Shiny, happy people laughing. My oldest sister sent me and my other sister a text the other day, and it was a video of a preacher speaking about the end time theology of pre-tribulation. Anyone here familiar? Couple of you? Oh, yeah? Okay, well, I will explain. Christians who adhere to this theology believe that a tribulation will come upon the world, and afterward, Jesus will return, usually on a white steed with a fiery sword, to reestablish his kingdom on earth, and believers will be physically raptured to heaven. This theology comes in 3 flavors: pre-tribulation, mid-tribulation, and post-tribulation. I told you being at Jubilee makes you fun at parties. You're learning so much. While they all agree that there will be a great reckoning on earth and Jesus will return, the difference lies in when the rapture will occur, either before the tribulation, in the midst of the tribulation, or afterward. So my sister is apparently of the pre-trib tribe, which teaches that believers, say that 3 times fast, pre-trib tribe. This tribe teaches that the believers will meet Christ in the air before the Antichrist is revealed, thus escaping the horrors of the tribulation. They will, however, be returned to God's kingdom on earth after everyone else has been severely punished for not believing correctly. Sounds crazy, right? Yeah. Right, guess? Were they right? Rapture. Right. Right. When I watched the video, you know, I rolled my eyes so hard, I think I injured my brain. I really do. I'm like, oh, God. This is the end time theology that I grew up with, and I wholeheartedly believed for much of my life. And it's scary. I mean, they show you videos, they show you movies where people are like raptured. Children come home and their parents are gone, and they're like, oh my God. So the kid wasn't raptured, but the parents are gone. It was right. And nobody was there, right. It causes nightmares for children. I remember they showed a video to us, and it was all about the rapture, and there was a news reporter, you know, and a news reporter's like, people are disappearing everywhere. And then the camera drops to the ground because the cameraman was raptured. And then I went into journalism and met a lot of cameramen, and I'm like, no, none of them are going. No. I went out drinking with those guys. They're not, no. Neither the reporter nor the cameraman. They're sorry, guys, you're hanging out for the tribulation. That's just what it's going to be. But, you know, I mean, yeah, well, I mean, we laugh. I think it's a bunch of fictional woo-woo hooey, which oddly enough is exactly what my sisters think about what I believe. Bob? Right, it's just clothes. Yeah, you're raptured naked.
You're naked?
Right. Apparently not. You know, there are robes waiting on you, I guess. So.
And slippers, golden slippers.
But you know, my sisters think what I believe is crazy woo-woo crap. And it was this realization that kept me from actually responding to my sister's text. My other sister did, though. She affirmed my older sister's crazy beliefs. But in my own spiritual journey, it has led me to that line from chapter 29 of A Course in Miracles that simply states, do you prefer to be right or happy? And even a few years ago, I would have just immediately texted back something sarcastic about how ridiculous this whole tribulation theology is, and how dare you send me such junk in the first place? Because, you know, I'm right and she's wrong. And that would have started a whole chain of reaction of snide texting back and forth, causing renewed feelings of separation and alienation, right? But now I know better. And I know better because I am both happy and right. And I don't say that to be arrogant, though the ego finds that sentence quite satisfying. I say it because I know that in that field of unity, out beyond our spiritual beliefs, both my sisters and I are right. And all three of us are happy because we're all the same. We're all spiritual beings having a diverse and often divergent bodily experience. And it's been my training in A Course over the past few years that has led me to understand happiness. Happiness is both my birthright and it is an ongoing choice. I can squander it just as the prodigal son squandered his father's wealth, or I can choose to recognize its presence within me and live into it no matter what the circumstances are around me. So after reading this text and watching the video and rolling my eyes so hard I hemorrhaged, I chose to remain happy and to be right. Because I finally understood that this life jubilance, it's all about perception. I perceive my sister's theology as insane, and I know that they believe my beliefs are just as crazy, but who's right? Well, you know what? We both are. Because everything we make up in this illusion is insane. Even this. It's all crazy. And with that knowledge, we can then all just make the choice to be happy and to be right. It doesn't mean we're to be mindless, shiny, happy people who just let everyone around us believe whatever clearly insane thing they want to believe. When our beliefs drive us to seek to use the power and authority of governments or religions or institutions to oppress and marginalize or otherwise cause further separation in this world, we must stand against it. And Jesus shows us how to do this. When he dealt with those oppressors of his day, he overturned the money changers' table because they made a mockery of truth. They sought to break our connection to God and to each other. So Jesus, he was both right and happy because he knew the truth about himself and he knew the truth about the money changers. But he had to take action to wake them up to the truth about themselves. Jesus knew that insane beliefs come from the ego when it convinces us that we can only find happiness and truth outside of ourselves in things of this world. Where the money changers in the temple had gone wrong, in Jesus' view, was to put their faith in money, in transactional exchanges that provide some illusion of happiness in the form of wealth or power or prestige, but it only deepens feelings of separation and division. So where we go wrong in our search for happiness and rightness, when we listen to that wrong voice, that's basically how it gets messed up. As a course author and teacher Greg Mackey reminds us, that still small voice within is the one that we should trust, not the one that says, no, we should trust the one that said to me, don't reply to that text. Just spend a few minutes sending love and peace to your sisters. That's the thing. And not the one that said, dear God, tell them how freaking stupid that is. You hear the difference between those two voices? As Mackey says, stubbornly clinging to a wrong position, no matter how much pain it causes us, is a virtually human phenomenon. This line is both a challenge to us to seriously question our way of seeing things and an invitation to accept a new way of seeing things that is both right and happy. So my texting back any retort to my sisters would simply result in my sisters stubbornly clinging to their position and would cause further sense of separation between us, and I would stubbornly cling to my position, and it would be war. Silence in this case is how I preserved the peace and our unity. I allowed them to have their conversation while I held them in love in my heart, refusing to belittle them, refusing to hate them, doing the only thing I could do in the moment, and that was just love them. To be right and to be happy. So they could be right and happy too. So whether somebody believes in tribulation theology or not, it doesn't change who they truly are. And if we have the ability to see beyond what we perceive as insanity of beliefs, but to see the insanity of our own beliefs, then we can finally realize our function here. It is to be shiny, happy people who throw our love around and plant it in the ground where it can take root and grow, no matter what the circumstance. Breathe deeply. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My instinct to preserve and cherish my relationship with my sisters instead of texting back my disagreement with their theology is a move that science tells me will keep me happy and healthy in my mind, in my body, and my spirit in the long run. That's the finding of one of the longest longitudinal right, a longitudinal study that was the longest ever of happiness that began at Harvard University back in 1938. It tracked the lives of 268 Harvard sophomores who are now into their 80s and 90s and found this veritable cornucopia of data on what makes for a happy life. The thing that kept people the happiest throughout their lives had very little to do with their outer circumstances. Many of them made lots and lots of money. Some of them didn't. Some lived ordinary lives. And one of them, a dude named John F. Kennedy, became president. What was the number one indicator of happiness? Any guesses? No?
Keeping it simple.
No? No?
Love.
Close? No? Relationships. Connection. The men in the study, which later was expanded to include their offspring, those who were the happiest were those who formed long-term bonds with spouses, with family, with friends. It was such a strong indicator of happiness that the study's lead researcher, George Valiant, once remarked, "Happiness is love, full stop." The study's findings are a reminder of why we do our spiritual work. Because sometimes it seems that we're just navel-gazing when we go inside and we disarm our own feelings of anger and fear or violence or hatred. And we're told by those around us, especially in social and religious systems, that working outside of ourselves, going out there and doing things is the only way to change the world. But if we are working in the world from a place of fear and anger or violence or hatred, we're not making any lasting changes in the world. We're just perpetuating fear and anger or violence or hatred, even if we have the best intentions in the world. And that's why we need to understand how to be happy and right at the same time. And we can only do that when we first understand that being right, being in our right mind, means that we train ourselves how to see past the grievances our egos have with the world that makes us feel separate from each other, so we can then just behold the beauty and the innocence of everybody we meet. My sisters are beautiful people. And if I were ever truly in need and they could help me, they would be by my side. I know it. I know that they would. Our disagreements over politics or religion or the color of the sky, it's not going to mean anything in that moment of need. And that's the power of relationships. We do not do our spiritual work just for ourselves. We do this work for the world, for everyone, for our families, for our friends, for strangers, for people that we perceive as enemies. I mentioned a few sermons ago that the only form of meditation that studies found helps people feel unity with one another is the loving kindness meditation, where you are sending thoughts of peace and love and safety to yourself, and then moving outward to those that you love, those you're acquainted with, those you don't know, those you hate, and finally to everybody in the world. And this jubilance is the key to happiness. Relationships are not limited to those who are just in our physical sphere. The Holy invites us into relationship with the entire world, because everyone walking around in a physical body is an extension of the Holy, just as we are. That means we're all one, all united in that field of unity where our eternal spirits are home and they still live and move and have their being, but we become blind when we step into this ego world. And it leads us to judge one another as either right or wrong, good or evil, friend or foe, any other divisive label you can dream of. And as a Course tells us, whenever we seek for anything outside of ourselves to bring us happiness, we will fail. Heaven cannot be found where it is not, and nothing in this world is heaven. Happiness abides within. And not just within ourselves. Happiness abides within all of us, even those who seem to be the most depressed, angry, selfish, or insane among us. So the best way that you bring happiness into this world is to cultivate it within yourself in every moment. Happiness is love, full stop. And when you realize that, you get to be both right and happy. Because you will begin to see the world rightly. You will see heaven reflected back to you in the eyes of everyone you meet. That's where heaven is. It's within you. It's within me. And whether they're being kind, whether they're being rude, whether they're being interested or aloof, open or closed, if you are seeing rightly, you still see heaven in their eyes. Remember, though, we got to be vigilant. The ego is a crafty little booger. It can convince us that being right and being happy is a cause for arrogance or a chance to impose our ideas or values on others in ways that cause more division instead of bringing unity. Maybe not responding to my sister's text. Maybe in truth it's just passive-aggressive behavior. I don't know. Maybe I'm convincing myself that some manner of superiority because I'm not throwing stones. Maybe my silence could be interpreted as just as harmful as saying something. This being happy and being right, it's not easy stuff. But even this seemingly insignificant situation with my sisters, it's an invitation to reflect on whether I could be being led astray by my ego. Right now, I've chosen to remain silent. I did get a second text with a second video that I have not viewed because my brain is still recovering. And they've texted back and forth about it, and I'm just like, okay, why are you testing me? But I just took it as another invitation to send more love. Acts in this world are either love or they are a call for love. And we are all just calling for love. I don't know. I'm just sitting with it for now. But Mackey's words provide much for me to think about when he writes, we should also be careful that we don't stand up for a truly right idea in a wrong egoic way. But while we should be vigilant against the ego, we should also recognize that it is our function to stand up for what is right. And what is right is what brings unity, not division. We are to demonstrate, he says, right-mindedness through our thoughts, words, and deeds, just as Jesus did in his early life and in writing the Course. Our happiness depends on fulfilling this function. It is our calling, and a correct interpretation of this line, would you prefer to be right or happy, frees us to fulfill the function that the Holy Spirit has for us. So this is the invitation, Jubilants, to think deeply about our spiritual path. Every single one of us, everyone in this room, everyone outside of this room, everyone watching today, we all want the same thing. We all want happiness. We all want joy and peace. And we want that peace that passes all understanding. So are we willing to explore our own motivations so deeply that we're willing to be wrong egoically and still be happy? Knowing that may finally result in us both being spiritually right and eternally happy. Because we have recognized that happiness is love. Full stop. Until we can finally realize the depth of our own happiness, because it's a process. R.E.M, those great theologians, give us this daily practice that we can do to cultivate deep, loving relationships with everyone you meet. If you read it in your lyrics, everyone around, love them. Love them. Happiness. It's in your hands, Jubilants. It's not the fake, shiny happiness of the ego, but that deep happiness that's already planted within us, just waiting for us to water it, nurture it, harvest it out into the world. So I invite you this morning and every morning, Jubilants, throw your love around. Do it wastefully, because as you sow the seeds of happiness, you will reap its bounty. And that makes the whole world say, Oh, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shiny, happy people laughing. Everyone around, love them, love them. Put it in your hands. Take it, take it. There's no time to cry. Happy, happy. Put it in your heart where tomorrow shines. Gold and silver shine. Shiny, happy people holding hands. Shiny, happy people laughing. Here we go. Shiny, happy people holding hands. Shiny, happy people laughing. Shiny, happy people holding hands. Shiny, happy people holding hands. Shiny, happy people laughing people. Happy people. Happy people. Happy people. Oh, yeah. Ah, I love this band, y'all. I just can't tell you enough how much I love these people. That's, I have been waiting. You don't know how many years I have been waiting to do that song because we have enough voices and someone who can play that lead, Bruce Clark up there, and we have Leslie Gilroy on the vocals, and Michael Reisman over there on the piano and everything else, and Larry Farina back there on the drums, Keith Edwards Sr. up there on the bass, and Trisha Fopp on 12-string and vocals, and thank you. I love this band. Actually do those great songs. All right, so absolutely, we love dancing. Yeah, really, right. I mean, what are we, people? It's not like we're Southern Baptist or something here. Dance all the time, absolutely. So this is the moment where we dance with the bank account. Shiny giving people. There's one. Shiny giving people.
Gold and silver shine.
Gold and silver shine, right? So we appreciate everyone who is a happy, shiny, giving person, and we thank you for your generosity. We thank you so much for supporting Jubilee Circle and being part of our community. And whether you're virtual and you've never set foot in here, we appreciate your support. Whether you have come in the past and are thinking of coming back again, we would love to see you. And we are going to go ahead and dismiss our virtual folks here in a minute. And Jess is the shiny happy giver today. All right. Yay! Go girl. All right. So If you would like to give to Jubilee Circle, you can do so in a myriad of ways. You can go to jubileecircle.com, and there is a link there that you can use to go to PayPal and Venmo, or you can send a good old-fashioned check to Post Office Box 4611, Columbia, South Carolina 29240. All right, so you know, for the post office, they swap them. It is. It's 40 for the post office. It's weird. Anyway, either way, it gets there, 04 or 40. So yes, thank you for joining us. Join us again next time. And remember, as Meister Eckhart says, if the only prayer you ever say your entire life is thank you, it will be enough. And together we say, thank you. And we say, oh yeah. All right, we'll see y'all next time.